everyone, my name is Jacob and welcome back to Eminem Hub, the channel where we do reactions, we do reviews, and today we are doing a tournament. We're doing a tournament of Eminem's worst songs. So I've gathered a bunch of songs that are generally hated by the Eminem community, and we're gonna see which is gonna come first for the worst song. The winner is gonna be the worst song, okay? It is. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, you should, because I did a recent collab with Rahul. It was a great video, check it out right there. Yeah, if you want to see more collabs like that, let me know. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. So our first matchup is Stepdad versus So Far. A very interesting one. I don't think Stepdad is quite as bad as people might think. I think the chorus is okay. I know a lot of people hate the yelling sounds that he makes, and I kind of like the story vibe of the song. It's really not great. Like, it's not great Eminem stuff, but I think it's overall an okay song. It's listenable, at least to me. I wouldn't say it's gonna move on past this round. So Far, on the other hand, unfortunately, this song features Eminem singing past his bounds, and you gotta know your limits sometimes, and Eminem unfortunately struggles here because, yeah, you can hear he's really pushing the limits, whereas, you know, on something like Haley's song, he sounds perfect. He's within his range, and he just sounds pretty good on that song singing wise. On So Far, I don't think so. So Far moves on in the tournament. Next up, we've got Offended versus Untouchable. This is interesting. Both revival songs. Now, Offended, look, this was a personal ad by me. There's too many poo bars in the song. There is just too many, and something about, I can't get behind it. I can't get behind toilet humor in rap songs. I'm sorry. And look, even though the flows aren't too bad, in fact, this has probably got some of the best flows on Revival. I just can't get past the lyrics, guys. I can't. That being said, Untouchable is most certainly worse. This song fails on all attempts. Let me just say that, and I don't have a reason to listen to that song again. So we're gonna pick that one to go forward in the tournament. Next up, we got Big Weenie versus Puke, and we got encore matchup. We got an encore matchup here with Big Weenie and Puke. Big Weenie is a very stupid song. Silly, it's dumb, but I think the rapping is more solid, and I just think Puke isn't that funny. I just think the humor didn't hit with this one, unfortunately. So honestly, I'm probably gonna go with Puke on this one. So Puke goes through. I just think it's unfunny, whereas Big Weenie has its moments for sure, as stupid as that song is. Moving on, we got a matchup of the century. We got Thack versus Venom, and this one isn't even close because I don't even think Venom's that bad. In fact, I think Venom is an underrated song. I don't know what you guys think. Isn't bad. I think the rapping is solid. I think the beat's quite good too. Sure, the chorus can get annoying. I understand that, but overall, I don't think it's that bad. And Thack, on the other hand, is just Eminem at peak drugs. That is what Thack is, so it is certainly going through. You'll hear things in that song that you can't unhear, so we'll talk about it later. So Venom loses, but wins in a way. Next up, we got Nice Guy versus Just Lose It. A lot of people don't like Just Lose It, and for me, I don't mind it too much. I think it's fine. I think the chorus is definitely unlistenable, that's for sure. I don't know, some of the rhymes are catchy. I don't mind the first verse, but Nice Guy is one of Eminem's worst songs, and there is just no redeeming qualities about the song. We will continue with that. We'll talk about Nice Guy as we go along. Next up, we got one of the recent songs from The Death of Slim Shady, Road Rage, and this has probably one of the worst Eminem hooks of all time. It's not Eminem, it's Sly Piper, and I have no clue what was going through his head, because this song sucks. It stinks. The chorus is genuinely awful. Won't Back Down is just a basic Eminem pop collab with Pink. I'm sorry, that's all it is. It sucks, it's basic, but Road Rage is disgusting to listen to, even if Eminem's verse isn't that bad. Alright, okay, my first single versus Farewell. Now, we talked about Farewell in my Music to Be Murdered By retrospective video. I think it really derives from the album, and it really takes you out of the experience. Whereas my first single is amongst other songs from Encore that kind of correlate. So look, if we're talking about the song that's not matching up well with the album, I think that's farewell, but my first single is certainly a worse song. Man, we'll talk about that in the next round. And our final matchup of the round of 16, we've got Asshole versus Heat. And this is an interesting matchup. I think Asshole's the worst song on Marshall Mathers LP2. I really think it is. It's trash. Skylar Grey just needs to stop getting on features. It really just annoys me at this point. And this one's one of the worst. There's nothing memorable about it either. And Heat, I just can't get behind Heat. I've seen people say they like it. I honestly, I'm sorry. Heat has to go through. We move on to the quarterfinals. And we've got So Far versus Untouchable. Even though Eminem singing is stretching the limits on So Far, I think Untouchable is definitely the worst song. And I think you guys might agree. Puke versus Fack. Now, Puke is a totally unfunny song, like I was saying before. Toilet humor. But at least Fack is funny. At least we can say you can laugh at it's so crazy that. And you know what? It's catchier. So you know what? Puke is actually going to go through over Fack. I might be in the minority here, but I'm sorry. You can show your friends that can have a good time. If I showed my friends Puke, I would be in the situation I am in right now and have no friends. Nice Guy versus Road Rage. As much as Road Rage has a really bad chorus, unlistenable, Nice Guy has somehow an even worse chorus with Jesse Reyes stinking up the song with an unbearable voice. Let's just say that. We'll talk about Eminem's rapping as well, but that's the first sin of this song. Nice Guy definitely makes it through as we probably expected. And then we got My First Single versus Heat. And I think My First Single is going to go through because that beat is awful. Oh my goodness. This is one of the worst Eminem beats. I know it's a joke with this song, but no one is listening to it. If you are bumping My First Single, you deserve to be put on a leash. And we make our way through to the semi-finals with Untouchable versus Puke. This is a close one. Puke is totally unfunny, and Untouchable is one of Eminem's worst songs. Rhymes, the lyrics in Untouchable are certainly worse than Puke's, and I think the beat on Puke is actually better. So Untouchable is going to actually make it through to the semi-finals. Oh, that's the finals? Hold on. We're in the semi-finals. What am I saying? And then we got our final semi-final matchup. Nice Guy versus My First Single. A matchup of all matchups. We've got some of the worst Eminem songs to exist. We've got Nice Guy with Jesse Reyes' awful performance on the chorus. We've got Eminem with the worst flow and the worst lyrics, and the beat sucks as well. Whereas My First Single, the chorus isn't as bad. Look, we're not even going to waste our time here. Nice Guy goes through, and we got Untouchable versus Nice Guy, and I think we know what's going to win. Maybe this was always going to happen, but Nice Guy is certainly Eminem's worst song ever made, and one of the worst songs ever made, just in general. I don't know what he was thinking. I really don't. And, Kamikaze goes up like a full 5 ratings if you take that song off that album. So that's the impact of Nice Guy. At least it's memorable. You can say that. If you enjoyed this random video of me brutally ranking these songs by Eminem that we don't know why he made them, we still don't know, and look, every artist has their bad song. Eminem maybe has a fair few more than others, but that is why we love him. Subscribe as well.